Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back to Take Time for Torah. This week is Shabbat HaChodesh, the Shabbat immediately before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, one of the four special Shabbatot as we prepare for the holiday of Passover. This is also Parshat Tazria, a continuation of the priestly code and description of sacrifices that are to be offered when they're offered. This is also a beginning of a section which talks about leprosy. Leprosy was a direct result, according to the Midrash, the elaboration on the Torah, of slanderous speech, of the sin of slanderous speech. And it tells the story of Rabbi Yanai, who was once sitting in his room studying, when he suddenly heard the cry of a peddler who was saying, "Elixir of life for sale, who wants elixir of life?" And as the crowd quickly gathered around the peddler, Rabbi Yanai's interest was piqued, and so he put his head out the window and asked the peddler to come up. And the peddler said, "You don't need what I have to sell. You don't need any of my wares, nor its friends." Undeterred, Rabbi Yanai pressed him and asked him to come up. "I still want to see your merchandise." And so the man pulled out a book of Tehillim, of Psalms, and he pointed out the verse, "Mi ha'ish ha'chefetz chaim, ohev yamim lirot tov, nitzur lishoncha, meira usvatecha, midaber mirma." Who is the man who desires life, that loves days, and that he sees the good therein? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking guile. Rabbi Yanai said to the peddler, "All my life I've been reading this passage, but did not know what it meant until you, the peddler, showed me what it came to mean. And it desires that clearly that the man who desires life and loves days may see the good therein." It's for the same reason that Moses warns the Israelites that they should that the law of Mitzorah was the law relating to one that gives credit to an evil report, that listens to evil speech. There's an old story about a rabbi and an old lady, and the old lady spoke slanderously of the rabbi. And she realized what she had done, and she went to the rabbi and asked him what is it she could do to repent for her sin. And the rabbi told her to take a pillow filled with feathers and cut a hole in the bottom and walk all around town and then to return. And she did just that, and she returned to the rabbi, said, "Rabbi, is that enough?" And the rabbi said to her, "No, it's not enough. Now go around and collect all of those feathers." And the old lady said to him, "But that's impossible. They've been scattered to the four winds." And the rabbi said, "Yes, that's exactly right. When you use slanderous speech, it's scattered to the four winds and cannot be gathered together." Words said about us define who we are and how the world sees us, not just for a short time, but for almost all time. There's a story of Raymond Donovan, who was President Ronald Reagan's first Secretary of Labor. And there was a vicious campaign of rumor and innuendo brought against him, until it culminated in criminal prosecution. And after running up huge legal bills and being acquitted of all the charges, Mr. Donovan exited the courtroom, and the reporters came up to him, and he posed to them a bitter question. "Now, where do I go to get back my reputation?" You see, once the feathers are scattered to the winds, they cannot all be recovered. I invite you this week, think before you speak. Use your words judiciously. You know, once upon a time, we had telegrams. And telegrams, you would pay by the word. And so you kept your words short and your message even shorter. Today, we have texts and emails, and we can send them, thousands of them by the minute almost. And we don't think very much about those texts or those emails. But perhaps we should spend just a bit more time thinking that each word we write in a text costs us, just like a telegram. You see, each word does cost us something. I invite you this week, speak words that heal, not words that hurt. Shabbat Shalom. And I wish you wonderful preparations for Passover.